Hey, all you punk rockers, headbangers, metalheads, and death metal maniacs. I almost lost my train of thought for a minute there.
Well,
welcome back
yes.
to that rock, punk, and metal show.
Yay.
Music show.
Yes.
Season 1, episode 4.
Oh, you keep track
If you've
of it
been
all.
paying attention, last week we were discussing Pantera.
Yeah.
We ended up at the release of Cowboys from Hell.
Yeah.
And there is just so much more on Pantera. Even after today, there's probably going to be stuff we miss.
Oh, there is no doubt. I was looking at the discography here. But first, so I don't forget.
All 9 of them.
Well, I am Bernadette Montana.
I'm Dave Frohnhofer.
Yeah.
He's our guest, Johnny Batts.
Yeah.
Round 2 for Johnny. Yeah.
And as a lot of people already know, we are doing a Facebook Live event.
Yes.
We wanted to see how all of that worked out and see what the responses of people. I actually figured out a way to be able to download that and, do some editing and all that. So I was really happy about that. So I wasn't sure how that worked.
And it seems to be
I'm
working.
I'm learning.
We got a good amount of people paying attention.
Yeah.
For now.
Yes.
Yeah, we left off with Cowboys from Hell.
Yeah, I was looking at the discography. I mean, we didn't even touch on so much stuff here.
Wow, we didn't really... Well, we touched on the first 4 albums.
Yeah.
Which were really unknown. Mm-hmm. For all intents and purposes.
All their glam days.
They don't talk about that.
Yeah, I know. My picture is so...
It's all. You think Pantera, you think piss and vinegar.
That's
it.
Yeah, but you still got to touch in on the roots.
That's it. You got to remember that
Because you got to touch in on the progression.
That's it. Vinny and Dime were big Kiss fans.
Yeah.
Especially
Huge.
Dime. I think he got buried in a Kiss casket, if I remember
Yes,
correctly.
he did.
Yep.
Yes, he
Like
did.
when they came out, you were like, who the hell would get buried in that? And then that unfortunate
And
tragedy
then they
happens.
had,
and then
if I'm not mistaken, he had it autographed by all of them.
I believe he did.
Now, we were just discussing that Sirius Radio has been all this week promoting, or, everything Pantera. What were you saying, Michelle? That it's next week?
Next week is the anniversary of Dimebag's death.
December.
Is the episode of the two
Terrible
brothers.
tragedy in the music world.
Yeah, the
been
Abbott
happening.
brothers.
It's been happening a lot lately.
Yeah, well, we don't want to... Ugh. Well, that
Horrible thing.
was an insane person. Not that we're not insane, but that was an insane person.
That's just a little above and beyond insane.
Was the rumor I heard was that this person had actually jumped up on stage and said, "You broke up Pantera." I don't know if that's true. It's just a
I don't
rumor.
know if
I don't know if anybody out there heard that.
If he came out and said it in those words,
Yeah.
but from what I gather, that was his view.
Yeah, you hear all sorts of things, but
Yes.
to do something like that, I mean, it was such
Pure insanity.
It is insanity, and even their side projects were so wonderful, and it just put an end to
And then-
all of that.
With Vinny sitting how many feet away?
Yeah.
That's got to be horrible. That's got to be horrible.
No.
But there was a lot of shit
Yeah.
that happened that ended up with that.
I read somewhere that Phil was singing all of the Pantera stuff just recently. I read, was it?
That was like last week.
Right.
He caught a lot of flack for it, too. They
Because
said it
he was-
disrespectful and this and that, and he was just like,
Oh,
you know
he
what?
threw out after they broke up.
Well, I know that there was that.
He bashed them so bad.
He
it was
wasn't
horrible.
allowed at Dime's funeral, as I recall.
No, right.
His
I did read that.
girlfriend banned him,
Yep.
straight up barred him from going. But I guess he did a show with his band now. Is it the Illegals? Is that his
Oh
band
Yes.
now?
God, he's had so many.
I think that's his latest one he was with, and they
Yeah,
did
that's right. Phil Anselmo and the Illegals.
And they did the tribute, an entire Pantera
It's a
set.
bunch of Mexicans. No,
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
Him.
Politics.
Emails get sent to him, not me. Okay?
But I guess they did a whole set, and he dedicated it to
See, they're
Vinny
laughing.
and Dime. And I guess he got a lot of shit for it. But he was like,
Of
listen,
course.
as much as there was hate, the hate came from a place of love. He's like,
I know what you're saying.
He's like, if we didn't love each other so much, the hate wouldn't have been as extreme. And you could take that as recovering addict, like piece of shit,
he was
like
in a bad
talk.
place at that time. All of this shit.
And
came
Phil's
out,
not
so-
necessarily known to be,
politically correct.
he's not. Yeah, he's an abrasive person. Like I don't know. I don't know if I would be friends with Phil Anselmo personally, but but it was. I watched the video of it. It wasn't as tight musically, but it was still. It was a cool tribute. It was. They did a lot of like unknown Pantera songs too. Like Use
is
My
great.
Third Arm was cool. They opened up with that off what the hell was that off of Far Beyond Driven. and just a
I
lot of
prefer
obscure
when
ones.
bands do that.
That's it. It was
Like
cool.
I went to see Maiden for Somewhere Back in Time. Mm-hmm. Great show. They didn't play any of their new music,
All right, none of the newer
if
stuff.
you want to call it that.
Well, Iron Maiden's going to be
touring
performing.
again,
Yeah, I'm
Legacy
like,
of the Beast.
I can't do it. I can't.
why?
I wanted to see.
I can't afford to do it.
Yeah, that's
Wow,
exactly
that's
what
a
it
whole
is.
other- that's a whole
Tickets are
other thing.
$100 a piece.
Michelle's going, yeah, I know.
For nosebleed, $100 a piece for nosebleed.
It's $100 for nosebleed, and that's pre-resale.
Yeah.
And I mean, Ghost was opening for them, I believe, last year or the year before, and we really wanted to go. But like, you can see Ghost for $30 in Brooklyn, or you can spend like $100 for a shit ticket to Iron Maiden, and they're selling T-shirts for like $80 at like the show. It's just like,
horrible.
You know, you wait a couple of weeks, you go to Rock Fantasy, you pick up a shirt,
Yeah,
and it's a lot cheaper. That's what I wind up doing, you know what I mean?
That's it. What's up, Rock Fantasy?
You know,
Yes. So anyway, as we've run off on this tangent,
I know, that's what happens when we get together. So, you know, we were a
come
bit.
back in after Cowboys from Hell.
Well, that's Cowboys from Hell is actually the album that brought me into loving
That's
Pantera.
what brought everybody into
Yeah.
Pantera.
So I got my Phil
Ricky
and-
Rackman.
That's it. I got my Phil Anselmo Cowboys from Hell hair going on right now. The
Hey,
music
Marcus,
video.
somebody
Yeah,
give me a
because he
pen. Somebody
shaved
give me a
that.
Ricky Rackman, Headbangers Ball.
Yeah.
That introduced the world to Cowboys from Hell.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
And then from there, it took off like nothing I have ever seen.
well, to me, and I had mentioned this at the last episode, me coming from a punk and hardcore background, I loved Phil's presentation, the way he sang. Even though it's metal, there was still that rawness. There was that vibe in his voice that really drew me in.
Freaking 18
and
years old.
It's amazing. And some of those breakdowns in those songs just I went, what is this? I'm in love with it, and I need more.
where do I get some?
Yeah, you know.
It's like a drug.
It really is. When it comes to Pantera,
It's like tattoos. You can't have one. Or lazy
I don't
potato
have
chips,
just
either
one.
No.
I don't, but we
No.
won't go there.
Well, mine aren't visible.
You know,
And I'm not showing them off.
we'll let your wife decide. But that's what drew me into Pantera, and there's such a feel, such that vibe
Cemetery
is
Gates.
intense.
Yeah, everything down to the guitar
Grammy nomination.
sounds, the double bass, like the bass drum sounds.
Yeah.
A friend of mine just keyed me in on, I guess it was a method he used where he actually taped like coins, I believe, to the ends, or to the heads on his bass drums. So when the beaters hit it, you got that typical
really?
like Vinnie Paul sound going on there.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And you match that with the dime bag, just in Cemetery Gates alone. They're like,
Yeah, yeah.
and then
Oh,
Phil
that's
at the
really-
time, he matched that hit. When he hit that big
Oh, the
squeal,
end. Yeah.
and then Phil hits it, he could never in a million years do it again, but like back
Yeah.
in the day, like that was the other cool element, was they did have the little power metal thing going on in there, just little hints of it
Yeah.
in Cowboys. And then,
Yes.
by Vulgar was gone.
I'm fascinated by what you said about the drums, because I'm a drummer.
I didn't know that. My
So-
drummer friend, hi Matt, he told me actually about it. I think it was like a week ago, and I was just like, get the fuck out of here. I've been listening to Pantera for like the last 15 years. Like,
Yeah. And that's another thing about Pantera.
What?
From Cowboys from Hell, they just progressively got more and more raw and powerful
Oh, yeah.
and heavy. And they went in the opposite direction of everybody else.
That's what drew me in.
Like
That
if
is
you
what
take
drew me in.
Metallica and then Kill 'Em All and Ride the Lightning, and then you look at Black,
Yeah.
it's
Well, you know, Metallica came from that thrash, type speed thing, and that changed things too. But
Yeah.
Pantera took things to a different level. It was deeper. It was harder. You felt it. I don't know if that's the right word, but
It's got a
you
beat and you
felt
can dance to it.
You made me want to rip some of these face off, is basically, that was one of the beautiful things about Pantera. And that first album was one of the things that I said, boy, I haven't heard that from metal in a long time.
And again, you jump to Vulgar Display of Power.
Yeah.
And it's just like they just sat in a room with Satan for weeks and wrote this album.
That's well, that came from The Exorcist.
What's that?
Vulgar display of power.
No, I did
That's
not
a
know
line from. It's something where Reagan, right? That was her name. Linda Blair is in bed and she's bound, and the father says, or she opens up. Now I'm paraphrasing. The drawer opens up and then it closes, and he says, "Can you do that again?" And she says something like, "That's far too vulgar a display of power," something along those lines. But it comes right from The Exorcist.
Did not know that.
So when you said Satan, I said, "Oh, that was like
There
perfect."
you go.
You see, you just knew it instinctively.
Yeah, that was it. It's just they went in a completely different direction.
Yeah,
It was
absolutely.
crazy. The progression from Cowboys to vulgar display, and then Far Beyond Driven, and it just kept going one step higher
I'm
every
agreeing.
time.
We really, just to kind of get back into this, we have Renee and Carly, Darcy. We have so many people watching, so I'm giving highs to everybody.
go,
So I don't
waving at
know
that
which
again.
camera. Yeah, well,
you gotta wave at
we
that
gotta look
one.
at this camera, and we have to look at this camera, and we got
But if you're
everything
waving
else
to them,
going
you
on
gotta wave
here.
at that one.
Okay, so here and here. So I'm waving at everybody, but hello everybody, and thank you for watching our Facebook Live event as well. And again, if you have any questions about Pantera, or you have something that you'd like
add.
to say, and to add, please do that. We would really appreciate that feedback. We want to know what you want, basically.
And shortly after Cowboys from Hell came out, and this part confused the hell out of me, Anselmo started a side project.
Yeah, you were just talking about it.
I just don't understand when Cowboys from Hell took off and skyrocketed the way it did, how you could take any of your time and devote it to something else.
But didn't he do that before it took off?
Do you think so?
I think he started it before Cowboys from Hell took off, and then when it did take off, he was already committed.
Yeah, but they've taken so many breaks as down. It's like every 4 or 5 years they decide to get together and put an album out. Which is, I guess I understand it. It is the proverbial supergroup.
Right.
You know, guys from Corrosion of Conformity, Crowbar, I Hate God. It's, you know, it's just who's who in...
Maybe it's a creative thing, you know, like, I mean, I'm an artist, my husband's an artist. We have to express ourselves in many different ways. And you get a different vibe when you play or sing with different groups. Maybe it has something to do with that. I'm only, guesstimating.
It's possible, because during his whole tenure with Pantera, he was busy with other projects.
Yeah,
at
always.
the same time.
And they're all drastically different sounding.
Yes.
That's the other best part about it. It's, Down is like a Louisiana,
Yeah.
sludgy, very laid back sound compared to Pantera, and then you get Super Joint Ritual down the line, very, very fast, and now he's in a black metal project, and he's just, the man's all over the place.
Yeah.
That's youth.
Anton Crowley. He's not even, he's 2 years younger than me.
Babies. I'm not going to touch that one. We won't go there.
Yes.
Anyway, on that one. Maybe that's the idea, you know what I mean? So if I were to create music with you, it would have a different vibe than if I were to create music with you, with Michelle or Nikki. Any one of us, you know what I mean? A different vibe.
I'm going to touch on something that's probably an unpopular decision, or unpopular
It's okay.
opinion.
That's what we're here for.
I want to say that the Abbott brothers are like Gene and Paul with Pantera. I feel like they were the core of Pantera. They ran
Absolutely.
it. Vinny handled the management. He handled the songwriting, everything like that. And maybe it got to the point where Phil was like, if I'm going to be in this band with you, I need to go over here and, get my other angst out in a different way.
That's very possible.
Because they constantly butt heads on direction. I remember that meeting. And then by the time Trendkill came out, different studios, they were the Motley Crue of the mid-90s in metal. They couldn't be in the same room together, and they still put out a fantastic album. But
Maybe it's that anger that, spurned on that great music.
It's possible. It's possible.
Oh, I think when people are miserable, they come up with their best pieces of work. It could be poetry, it could be music, it could be anything. A
Misery
writer.
loves company.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. But when somebody is miserable, oh my God, some of that music that comes out.
Best love song or best.
Yeah, you're right.
I want to kill somebody song. It's during the divorce, separation.
Or it's
I'm
a country
agreeing with you.
song.
Or
All you
it's
need
a
is a
country
dog
song.
and a pickup truck, and it's a country song.
Yeah, it's true. So I'm agreeing with you, and that could be it. That could be one of the things
definitely
here.
a possibility.
I'm looking at all of this, and then Far Beyond Driven,
There's so
the Great Southern
much.
Trendkill and Reinventing the Steel.
And then Great Southern Trendkill is when Anselmo just totally hit rock bottom.
Yeah.
Physically, legally dead for nearly 5 minutes.
That's what drugs will do to you.
And then brought back to life.
Actually, that goes back to my Motley Crue statement just before. He's Nicky Six of the 90s. Look at
There
that.
you go.
Right.
There you go.
It's a tough thing.
The part I didn't, which I had no idea, is I just found out that Diamond Vinny really had no idea, because all the time at that time, they were spending so much time apart, recording in different studios, not touring, and they had no idea
Right.
that he was so far beyond,
Like far beyond driven, if you
Far
will.
beyond driven, yeah.
if you will.
Dun-dun-dun. You know, you might have a point there. But
And then he relapsed.
well, addiction is
It's a terrible thing.
it is a terrible thing, and we could probably just go on and on and on for hours about that one. But in regards to that, if they were playing separately, then that would make sense to me as to why they didn't know
No, absolutely.
that Phil was addicted.
Absolutely.
Because when you see somebody who's addicted, you know they're
Oh, hell yeah.
addicted. You know.
And it was not long after that he came up with his, I don't know, drunken, fueled rant about rap music and killing the white man.
Oh Lord. Oh. That sounds like a Typo Negative song.
Yeah, no, actually,
I was going to wear my shirt today, too. And, I was like, which mid-90s band would fit into this?
That would be
Without
Typo
being
Negative.
that guy that wore a
But-
Pantera shirt.
Yes.
But the movie, now I forget the movie, Black Sheep
I
with
never
Chris
saw that.
Farley.
Oh my God, when he goes kill Whitey.
Yes, he's up on stage all stoned, running around stage yelling, "Kill Whitey."
I didn't see
Who
it.
started that?
Uh-oh.
Was it Phil or was it Chris? Who was the first one?
I don't know. It
It was around the same time.
But Typo Negative did that too.
did they?
Kill all the
Kill
white
all the,
people.
yeah, kill all the white people. Yep.
Yeah.
When was that?
Oh my God. It was,
That was Buddy,
no,
that was
I get
Buddy
you.
Kisses.
this is the 90s.
Yeah, that was 90.
Well, those-
What was it, 92?
Phil and
Buddy
Chris
Kisses?
ranted about it on stage, both in '96. So,
Oh Lord.
Well, Phil just pulled some weird. He was in the news a couple of years ago.
and then it was
for
the "I'm sorry, I
anti-Semitic
was
thing.
drunk."
Hey Kevin, I haven't seen
Yeah.
you in forever.
He pulled that recently though. They were like, oh,
Kevin
Phil
Shaw.
just Phil just made like a Nazi salute at a concert, and I was like, come on.
I did hear about that.
You know, some people need to be
I did
slapped.
hear about that.
I mean, I get it that they're trying to do the whole shock thing in order to, bad press is good press, but sometimes it's just a little bit much, and somebody needs. I know what you're saying. You get where I'm coming from.
And then-
Some people.
Shortly after that, Cowboys from Hell went platinum. And
That
then
really-
not long after that, Vulgar Display of Power and Far Beyond Driven both went platinum.
Mm-hmm.
Within a year and a half time, all three of their early albums went platinum.
So did that happen after the rant?
Yes.
So then you think that was something that might have, driven sales
Fuel
up?
for the fire?
Yeah.
Maybe. It's
Kevin, you're
possible.
watching. You got to give me an answer on that one.
Controversy
Because he was a
sells,
big-
unfortunately.
Oh,
Controversy
absolutely.
sells.
So does war.
But ironically enough, after the controversy,
He sells, but
af-
who's buying?
After the whole live
Different band,
spouts
sorry.
about nothing, they put out a live album.
Yes.
Ironically enough,
Yes.
which is fantastic for a
Yes.
live album. As an earlier
And I
live
think
album, too.
the cool thing about their live album is it wasn't recorded at a show. Like Kiss Alive 2 was recorded at one show.
Right.
The whole live album was recorded at one show. This was bits and pieces of all their tours. They just took
Oh,
bits
okay.
and pieces of everything.
I think Manson did that like a year
and
later too,
compiled
actually,
it.
with
Which,
the last tour on Earth for the Mechanical Animals tour.
Oh, really?
The CD itself was just in the same vein. It was a track from like different cities. And I
Right.
guess that became like a trend. Another trend kill, whatever.
Ah,
It's I can go all night.
That was a
But,
great one.
I just feel like that just became like the protocol for the live album after the fact.
I didn't even realize that, and I thought I was the Marilyn Manson, freak here, and I didn't know that. But that's a
then-
great idea in order to take bits and pieces of different shows, and you take
Yeah,
the best
absolutely. Yeah, that's-
different shows and
definitely.
can have a compilation of that.
Definitely, yes.
I really have a hard time with live albums. So it's the
it
quality and
depends
everything that really
on-
kind of get to me on it.
There's some good ones. There's
I know that
definitely
there
some
are,
good
but
ones.
it's gotten better, early on.
And
like,
then shortly after that, they hit the main stage at Ozfest. Mm-hmm. That's got to be something else.
Yeah. Yeah. I saw Ozfest, but it wasn't with Pantera. It was with Manson.
Sharing the stage with Ozzy and Black Sabbath. And
No, that's hitting. That's hitting.
What was that, 99? Was it?
Yeah, 98, 90. Well, 98. 98, he did the main stage here in America. 99, he hit the main stage in Europe.
Oh, okay.
Hi, everybody. I mean, there's
That's
just
gotta
too
be-
many names
There
for
you
me.
go, waving at the screen again.
I know. I keep doing that. You know what? There's a lot of people here. Yeah. So I'm like, hey,
a
there's
lot of
just
green
too many
going on
names.
here.
I know.
I know.
Lots
That's
of-
all the people that are checking us out.
Yeah, I'm really happy about
And,
that. I just want to acknowledge everybody. So, but yeah, we got to kind of get that kind of went on a little tangent there. But
And that's
that's
when-
awesome with taking the best of
And
different.
then at that point is when Anselmo dove into his black metal phase. I guess where he could start. I'm sorry, where he started playing guitar.
Oh, I didn't know he played guitar.
Yeah, he
Oh,
played
I'm-
guitar as Anton Crowley.
Oh, that's right.
Yep.
Yes.
That's right. That's right. I got that. I went on a binge and was watching all of the videos. Actually, Sean, we were watching some of those videos, and you said like the style of its time. It was you saw the what were you saying? I'm trying to think of exactly what you said. It was that style. You saw them in concert. It was them playing. There was a lot of anger. It was like a theme throughout all.
I remember at the time what I was saying, to be honest.
But you could see that anger in all of the videos, and it was all that live feel to it. You know, it was all of their videos pretty much is them performing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Except there was one where
And that was the
kept
point
punching in the
where
face.
apparently Diamond Vinny saw the writing on the wall, hooked up with David Allan Coe, and that's when they started Rebel Meets Rebel. Late 99, early
Yeah.
2000.
It had a more southern feel to it to me.
And that album wasn't released until 2 years after Dime passed away.
Right.
It took them 4 years to complete that album.
Is it because, I mean, he wasn't there, or they wanted to have a certain sound because he wasn't
Well,
there?
no, it took 4 years to complete the album because it was still, Pantera was still Pantera. You know, it was just
Right.
about the time of Great Southern Trendkill, and
Right.
then, you know, Reinventing the Steel, and then the compilation of the 101 Proof. So they spent the majority of their time still with Pantera.
Can you imagine where, if the Abbott brothers were still here today, where music would have been?
Where
At
Damage
this
Plan
point.
would have went.
Well, Damage Plan for sure.
I was never a Damage Plan fan. I don't know.
No, huh? What about Super
yeah,
Joint
they're-
Ritual or
Super
Hell
Joint
Yeah?
Ritual, I really like. I
love Hell Yeah.
Hell Yeah, I
Love
feel
Hell
like
Yeah.
they really tried to replicate the Pantera sound with the first two albums, and
Yeah.
then they became their own thing after the fact. And they had the singer
Yes.
from Mudvayne with like the guitar sound and drummer of Pantera. And that didn't really work for me too much. And then once they got into their, the songs were all about like, oh, get drunk, fall down, this and that. And I was like,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
I'm with it. I can get that.
Yeah.
But it really didn't.
Come on, Alcohol and Ass, great song.
That was a great song.
Yeah.
It's like life's too short to be sober. I love it.
Yes.
But it didn't really. I feel like it didn't mature really and become its own thing until after the first like two albums. And like I was a
I'm a
huge
big fan
Mudvayne
of-
fan. I was a huge like Pantera fan. But together I was like, eh.
Yeah, it took a little while for them to find their own groove.
But once they did, I dug it. And then
Yes.
unfortunately it got cut short. But
Yes.
I hear they are putting a new album out. It's the last
with-
workings.
with Vinny's last recorded drum tracks.
Oh. Can you imagine how much stuff
And-
hasn't been released?
Did you know that the God, what the hell is the guy's name? The cover that Hell Yeah did. Phil.
Yeah, it's out.
Phil.
Lost.
Oh my God.
That's
what the
okay.
hell
You
is
know
the
it's going to
guy's
happen. It's going to be
name?
done with the recording.
British
it's going to come.
guy, bald head.
Collins.
Phil Collins.
Phil Collins. The Phil
I was
Collins
gonna say
cover.
it, but I was like, it can't be that. It can't be that.
The Phil Collins cover that Hell Yeah did. The guitar tracks were actually Dimebags.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Because Diamond Vinny played with that song years ago.
Right.
And they recorded the guitar and drum tracks, but it never went anywhere.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm sure there's going to be probably a whole stash
Oh, I'm
of
sure.
stuff, and riffs. Because I know a lot of
Oh, yeah.
guitarists keep a lot of those riffs. They put it to the side and then put it into music later on and
Yes.
such. So I'm sure there's a lot of stuff,
Yeah,
In regards to that.
I'm a fan of Hell Yeah.
So before we go any further, how much time do we got left on the cameras? Because I wanted to touch on music that has been submitted to us. I want to see, do we have enough time to?
You got 3 full empty cards.
works.
You know what I mean? Okay, no.
Just chat. Just go.
Yeah, so, and I'm going to make sure I hit that camera too. Uh-oh, I'm getting the look. We got about 10 minutes. Okay. So, we want to make sure that, I got to make sure I'm hitting the right cameras here.
Hit them all.
But, okay,
Just keep doing this.
there. Okay, look at that one.
Just keep
Okay.
doing this.
So, I really
Breathe.
shouldn't be sitting next to him. This is what we're like when we're together outside. So, what we wanted to do is give shout outs to different bands who have been sending us a lot of music. We've been in the past episodes asking people to bring to,
Submissions.
yeah, that word. Okay. And they've done it, and it's really awesome. We have a Facebook page, That Punk, Rock, and Metal Music Show.
Rock, punk, and metal.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, that one again,
what
too.
he said.
Yeah, I'm tired. But, if you go into that page, I put the submissions there if you'd like to hear samples of these bands' music. These are all unsigned bands. So the first one that I wanted to touch on is a band called Demon Scar. And yes, I'm using my notes here. And you could reach them at demonscar.com. They have a Facebook page, Demon Scar NYC. And they also have a Twitter. But
And
it's on...
We're also trying to work out so we can figure out a way to interview these guys
Yeah.
and also
Yeah.
get these interviews on the page for people to see. So you can find out who their influences are, where they're coming from, what their music is aimed at,
Yeah.
what's the story behind their music. Mm-hmm. So we're trying to get that together also.
It'd be awesome. This is a Demon Scar. They have 5 songs on Spotify. So it's worth listening to. They're on a heavy metal end, and, give them a try. The next band is the Reverend Cavaliers, and they describe themselves as indie rock, pop rock, and Americana. So you can reach them, again, at the Reverend Cavaliers at bandcamp.com. Or, again...
Bandcamp.
I know. Don't start.
I won't. I'm done. I'm finished. I'm done. That's it.
You could
Game
reach
over.
them there, or go to our Facebook page or our group page and see listings. I don't want to look at him. He's
Pay no
gonna make
attention
me-
to the man behind the curtain.
No, not at all. The next band that I wanted to introduce is Operation Neptune Spear, melodic, political groove rock. And they are from Sheffield, England. So we actually have our first band from across the pond. And you can find them on soundcloud.com.
Where in England?
Sheffield, England.
Why does that sound familiar?
It's a pretty big...
Oh, my mom was from England.
That's right. That's right. I haven't seen your mom in a long time, so...
She's still short.
Things don't change here. And the next band is Supremia. So old school death metal rock.
There you go.
Yeah, and they're from New Jersey. Yay, New Jersey here. And again, they are on Reverb Nation. So you'll be able to find them
Reverb
there.
Nation is cool. You can find a lot of new stuff on Reverb Nation.
Yeah. But give them a try, give them support. Say you heard it here, which would be awesome. And again, you can find us on our Facebook page. We now have a Twitter account and YouTube. So all of these videos that we're doing, these episodes and trailers and such, will all be on our YouTube page. So look for us, and then you can subscribe and let us know what you want. What do you want to hear? What do you want us to talk about?
If you have bands, you have friends that are in bands, tell them
Yeah.
to reach out to us, or tell us we can reach out to them.
Yeah, and we'll be, I'll be blasting that out. Oh, he's excited. Yeah, he's excited. But I just wanted to make sure that we do this. We want to have some time set aside for each episode in order to do this for people and to help promote bands. As you know, you're in a band, and you know how hard it is to get the word out.
Eventually, it's going to come to a point where we pick one band per episode and highlight them, their music, their style, maybe post a video if we can. Once we get everything straightened out and we get all the releases and all the legal rights and everything else, we got to make sure we do this the right way.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we can't continue to do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So there will come a time, hopefully in the near future, where we'll be able to post videos from these bands or MP files or whatever the case may be. So everybody that's paying attention, everybody that's keeping an eye on us, everybody that's watching us, which words can't even begin to tell you how much we appreciate everybody that's here right now. Everybody that's watching us, everybody that's online, everybody that's keeping track of what we got going on.
Absolutely.
And like I said, eventually it will get to the point where we do highlight one band each episode, and you know, we'll go from there.
Yeah, it would be nice. We had like 5 of them today, so that was kind of nice. And you know, to all of the bands involved, thanks for submitting all of that work. And we're looking for more submissions, so please send that in to us and give us an idea as to what you're looking for. And you know, we'd like to take this even further and see where we can go with this. You know, some of the ideas I was thinking of, like YouTube live events. There's so many more things, as much as Sean, our cinematographer, can handle from us, you know, and the rest of us. But there's some great ideas that we really would like to, you know, really focus and put out there. We actually signed our first interview. Yeah, so we're going to be doing that in December. I'm not going to mention who it is because people locally would be very, very excited. So once we have him here and we'll do that interview, we'll be blasting that out. But we will have lots of interviews, so you know, stay tuned. We'll be letting you know what that's all about.
And then there's also talk about in the future, when things get rolling along, having concerts, getting some of these bands up, having having all-day episodes.
Is that bringing me back to my, you know, those days where I was promoting those bands?
It is.
Yeah.
This is why we keep her around. That's why she gets the big bucks.
Yeah, right. Yeah, big bucks is right. I'm surrounded by some awesome people and
Idiots.
some crazy people.
No.
Seriously. Arthur, you going to let him talk to me that way? Yeah, no.
That was
We
in
have a
your
really
favor.
great
Pay
staff.
attention, woman.
And it's awesome here. So, you know, that's a bit of what we're doing and what we want to achieve here. And I'm looking at all of the people I'm looking at the right screen.
Yes.
I'm looking at all of the people that are watching here, and a big thank you to all of you. And again,
It's great to see everybody signed on.
Yeah, you know. So we're gonna have to figure out, what our
It's me
next.
right here.
People still say that?
What, signed on?
Log on, sign up.
Oh gosh.
We're old.
So we have.
We're elderly.
Hey, Michelle
old.
and Tom and Hillary. Woo! Hey, Hillary. There's lots of awesome people
What are
here.
you, coffee?
I'm rugged.
He's rugged. So, thank you, everybody. Again, it's a great
telling
cup
you.
of coffee.
I
It
can
is.
smell it from here. Robust.
You know, I'm Bernadette Montana.
Dave
and-
Fraunhofer.
Johnny Pax.
Yay!
I never say that out loud. That felt weird. Usually people are saying that to me. I never actually say it.
Got it. Thank
And-
you for watching us. Thank you. And those of you on Facebook, you can stay on for a few minutes longer. We're going to be...
And we'll see you next time.
Yes.
Thank you.
Fairly well. I hope you had a great Thanksgiving. Bye-bye.